Welcome to the Hardcore Closer Podcast. I'm Ryan Stewman, founder of HardcoreCloser.com, and this podcast is all about helping you, the salesperson, close more sales. And look, whether you're selling cars, homes, financial services, consulting, whatever it is that you sell, this podcast is dedicated to help you generate higher quality leads, increase your closing ratios, and show you how to charge premium fees for the items you sell so you can get paid what you're worth. What up, Closing Nation? Welcome to episode number 114 of the Hardcore Closer Podcast, and I am so glad you're here. If you're a first-timer, be sure to check out all the previous episodes, and do me a favor, leave me a review on iTunes, man. Share this with a friend. Leave me a review on iTunes. It's huge, right? Because here's my thing, is I'm trying to reach 300 million salespeople, and the algorithm on iTunes, that's where most people listen. This is probably where you're listening to it. That's where most people reach that. The algorithm on iTunes dictates that the more reviews a show has, the more likely it is to be seen as like top podcast or whatever. And I just appreciate your help there. I put time in every single week here to be able to bring you quality content. And all I ask is that you just leave me a review. All right, here's an example right here from Cole Bertills. It says, become a hardcore closer yourself. Without being a sleazy salesperson, you'll learn how to build relationships the right way, nurture those relationships, and eventually sell them whatever it is that you have to sell them. Ryan Stewman offers a no bullshit approach to sales and closing, 5 stars. I appreciate that, Cole. I appreciate that a lot, man. You know what? You can even leave me a review where you pitch your business, and I'll read that stuff as well. I'm all about helping give back. But obviously, if you haven't realized, I am a giver. Ask my wife. I am a giver, and I believe that the sales community, there's so many people taken from us. There really is. There's always somebody with their hand out. There's always somebody trying to take stuff from us. There's always somebody trying to play games with us. And really, this is my way of giving back. And I want to give back to you guys too. I want to read your reviews where you basically pitch your business. Hell, I don't care what you say in the review. You don't even have to talk about how great I am. We already know how awesome I am. Thank you. But in all seriousness, you can talk about your business and yourself in the review. I don't really care what it says in there, and I want to give back to the community. That's all. So real quick before we get into this, though, I want to talk to you about this revolutionary new product that I've created. Okay, it's called Phone Sites. You can check it out over at phonesites.com. And listen, most salespeople, they struggle with technology. And it's not because you're not capable of creating a sales funnel. And if you don't know what a sales funnel is, it's real simple. It's a series of websites that capture name, email address, and phone number, somebody interested in buying whatever it is that you sell. It's pretty simple, right? And most salespeople don't build a sales funnel for the main reason is they don't have the patience to learn technology. And I can't blame you. You know, we're oftentimes on the go and we're always thinking about our next sale. And many of us are very impatient. And we're not like, oh man, you know, I don't want to sit down for 4 hours and create an awesome web page. We're not web designers. We're talkers and texters and phoners and callers and knockers and things like that, right? And so Phone Sites makes it simple to where you can create an entire sales funnel from your mobile device in 5 minutes. Like literally, you can, in your downtime, when you're surfing Facebook, instead of surfing Facebook for 5 minutes, you can create an offer, an opportunity, and an availability for prospects to be able to opt in and give you their name, email address, and phone number so you have somebody to talk to. You can post it on Facebook. You can run advertisements to it. There's all sorts of trainings that come along with it. I created something for the rest of us. Now, there's awesome like website development tools out there like Wix and Squarespace and Lead Pages and ClickFunnels, but all that stuff takes a lot of time and a lot of imagination, graphic design, and all this other stuff. Phone Sites is nothing like that. Phone Sites is very simple, very easy to use, and very fast and highly effective. My opt-in rates on Phone Sites pages are higher than any of the other platforms that I've ever used in the past. And the reason why I share that with you is because I believe simple sales. I always say, you know, you hear keep it simple, stupid. I don't like saying that. I like saying keeping it simple sales. And the thing is, when something's easily understood, the prospect can easily make a decision. And with Phone Sites, there's not a lot of flashing widgets. There's not a lot of timers. There's not a lot of anything. And if you look at some of the most dynamic, most money-making websites out there, they're very simple. Guys like Dan Kennedy, they have websites that don't have any flashing stuff. They don't have any graphics. They don't have any of that stuff. And they make millions upon millions of dollars a year from them. Why? Because it's easy for the prospect to make a decision because it's not a bunch of distractions. And so phone sites is just that. I believe there's three things that it takes to be able to make sales and make money in sales with lead gen. Number one is the right offer. Phone sites, you can make whatever offer you want. Number two is the right audience. The people buy from people they know, like, and trust. So why wouldn't you want to share it on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and everything else? And then number three is the technology. And phone sites is the tech. Most salespeople have a good offer. They have a good audience. Technology, the brakes come on. Phone sites takes the brakes off. It literally beats the brakes off the competition, because literally you could be taking a dump, and in 5 minutes, and some of you take 20-minute dumps, right? It's like a dollar for a dime. That's why I poop on company time, right? Or whatever the saying is. Like, many of you can take longer dumps in 5 minutes, and you can literally sit there on the toilet, and instead of scrolling Facebook or Instagram while you're there, you can build you an entire website, post it to Facebook, and have leads coming in by the time you're done wiping your ass. I'm dead serious, right? I know that you're just like, whoa, that's got really graphic really quick. But I'm just telling you, that's how awesome this technology is. Please wash your phone after you're done. And here's the thing. Phone sites is affordable. It's not expensive, not hundreds of dollars a month. Right now, it's an introductory offer of $19 per month or $199 per year. I recommend just go ahead and spend the $199 per year at your rate. As long as you don't cancel, it's locked in for life. We do plan on raising it here shortly. And phone sites, like, I dare you not to be able to create a funnel in 5 minutes. I dare you. Double dog, triple dare you. You have to just stare at the phone like an old redneck staring at an empty beer bottle. Do what? It's impossible for you not to be able to build a website in 5 minutes. You can upload videos from YouTube. You can upload pictures from your phone. If you're a real estate agent, imagine going to a listing appointment and they're like, so how long until you start marketing our home? You go take a picture of the front of the house, put it on a phone site, and like, okay, it's being marketed right now. How awesome would that be? How do you think you could go in and nail a listing appointment with that? Loan officers, the value that you can bring to the real estate community is unreal. Insurance agents, like when you offer discounted prices and you post in groups of dads and stuff like that, how fast can you build one of these and swipe and deploy to where you collect information? And dude, I teach all sorts of cool stuff in our phone funnels program, which partners with this. In phone funnels, we typically sell it for $997, but if you sign up for a subscription to phone sites, it's absolutely free. So for $19 a month or $199 a year, you get $1,000 worth of value bonused on top of that. There's nobody out there giving away things like we are, because we want you to win. I told you I'm a giver, and I want the sales community to win. So go sign up and get your funnel deployed, ready to go, and leads coming into you. No more door knocking, no more cold calling. Post on social media. Awesome offer, the right audience, and make money with phone sites. We're going to have an affiliate program coming out soon as well. So let's jump into this episode. This week, we're not going to talk about sales in the sense of selling to other people. We're going to talk about selling yourself. You see, when we're young, our parents and the people around us, our teachers, they tell us things like, oh, you're so special. You're so awesome. You have so much talent. You're so unique. Don't ever change. And then when you're 13 or 14 and the first time you challenge their thinking, they say, why can't you just be normal? Like, bitch, you told me I was special. And what happens is our brain, our subconscious stores everything. And just because we can't consciously recall things, like you ever feel like you've been somewhere before and you're like, man, I've been here before, I just can't remember for what? Or you're like, I've heard this song before, I just can't remember for what? Or I've been in this place, or, is this the same chick that I banged last week? Like, when you have these things that you just can't recall out of your subconscious, it's still there. Your conscious just isn't fast enough to be able to dig through and sort all the data that's in your subconscious. Your subconscious has stored every memory, every thought, everything since you were born. But there's like a firewall between the conscious and the subconscious. And you think of the subconscious as the hard drive, right? It's the memory. It has, 150 billion terabytes of memory in it. And your conscious is like RAM. It's random access memory. And so what it does is it goes and it's running on 612 megabytes or something like that. And so you've got all these terabytes of data to sort through, and your conscious is running at 612 megabytes. And for those of you who don't know, a terabyte is a whole shitload, and a megabyte is not very many at all. And that's basically how our brains work. They're literally the computers of our body. And so it takes a long time to recall things, but the subconscious stores everything. And so what happens is we get wired with limitations, and we get wired to we're backwards. I'll never forget, I was on Brad Lee's podcast, and he said, would you rather have $100 million given to you, or would you rather have 20 that you earn? And I said, I'd rather have 20 that I earn. And he goes, everybody says that, but then they just gave away $80 million. How fucking stupid is that? And I thought, you're right. I'll take the $100 million. And because we weren't wired for success, we're wired backwards. We're told at a young age that we're going to be successful. And then when we try to step out on our own and build our own business and try to be successful, people go, oh, I wouldn't do that. I'd go get a job and go to college and spend all your money with stupid teachers that never had a fucking real job in their life other than teaching people for fucking small amount of money. Right? Like your parents, my parents they never owned a business. They never knew what the fuck they were doing. So anytime I stepped out on my own, they were like, oh man, I wouldn't do that. I'd go get a job at the car wash. It's a lot safer washing cars than it is doing mortgages, right? Like they don't know. And so what happens is we get all fucking twisted and tangled up in our subconscious, our hard drive, our memory is going, dude, shit, am I special or am I fucking stupid? Should I be normal or should I be eccentric? Am I smart or am I dumb? Should I go get a real job or should I create my own opportunities? And we get fucking confused in it. And it just makes the way that our brains are wired, it just drives us absolutely fucking nuts. And then guess what? We don't take action at all. Most people, the number one detriment to living an unlimited life is that they just don't take action at all. And when you don't take action, guess what? For every action, there's equal and opposite reaction. But if you make no action at all, then guess what? The opposite reaction is to fucking take you into the negatives. And so today I'm going to talk to you about how to remove the limitations that society's put on you from your life. Because I believe that, and I've been talking about this a lot on the last few episodes, but I believe that we are really limited by the way that society's put these limitations on us, and we want to truly live an unlimited life. A couple of episodes ago, I was talking about Master P and the no limit lifestyle, right? But the thing is, like, we have these upper limits that we put on ourselves. We have these limitations. I was reading a book the other day, and it was talking about a guy and his friend were in a car accident, and his friend got trapped underneath a Camaro. And the dude had such an adrenaline rush that he picked the Camaro up off of his friend. Like he lifted the whole fucking car. And this guy was like a 180-pound dude. He wasn't like some giant, power lifting, tough man, strong man dude. He wasn't AJ Roberts. He was just, some dude that lifted a car off his fucking friend, because all of the limitations we have here on this planet come from our mind. If you think the Matrix, he's like, dude, you can just totally jump off the fucking thing and fly. And he's like, I don't know about that. Right? I don't know. That's his mind going, I don't think so. And so when you put limitations on yourself, now I'm not telling you to jump out a window and fly. That was obviously a fictional movie, because there are laws on this planet like gravity. However, I do know this. When you're working out, and this is thanks to Jocko Wilkins, I think I said that right, is when you're working out, your brain tells you to stop at 40% of your capacity. So when you're working out and you're running and you're getting tired, you're only at 40% of your capacity. And the reason why is because the brain doesn't want you to exhaust and hurt yourself. The brain does everything it can to protect itself. So at 40% of your capacity, it's already telling you to slow down. So you're only, like most of us, we're only living at 40% of our potential because the brain shuts us down. So you think about it, if someone can bench press 220 pounds at 40% of their potential, really what they can do is bench press around 600 pounds at 100% of their potential. And if someone can, deadlift 300 pounds and at 40% of their potential, then really what they're doing is about 750 pounds is what they can deadlift, which might be the back end of a Camaro. So I want you to think about the limitations that society set on us, the limitations that we set on ourselves. And so number one is the 5 ways to live an unlimited life. That's what we're going to talk about today. Number one is push yourself daily. You see, most people will do everything they possibly can to stay in their comfort zone. They don't push themselves. Or they push themselves in one area and not another. They might push themselves in the gym, or they might push themselves at work, but they don't push themselves in the work and at gym and in their faith in themselves and with their family. They don't push the limits of life, period. Because here's what I know as a person that's worked out for 21 years straight, other than when I've been injured. Really, only time that I haven't worked out for the last 21 years is when I've been injured. And even then, it drives me crazy. I usually go on walks and stuff like that. And injured, I broke my wrist one time and I couldn't work out for 6 weeks. And so I went on walks. After about 3 weeks, I went on walks and jogs every day. When I injured my shoulder and chest a few months ago, it was like 6 weeks where I worked out again. Within 3 weeks, I was running, since I could use my legs and not my arms. I just like working out because I like testing my physical limitations. My friend David Goggins, at one point, he was a fat guy. And every day he pushed his limits further and further and further to now dude's as skinny as a rail. And all natural, no drugs, no steroids, no human growth hormone, no Winstrol, no none of that stuff. He's just pushed his limits every single day. When they went to the SEALs and they told him that there's only been 34 African Americans ever make it through the SEALs, he said, well, I'm going to push my limitations as an African American and become number 35. He's pushing himself daily. And so if you want to live an unlimited life, you have to push the limits every single day. Today, honestly, I had the hardest CrossFit workout of my life. And the number one rule in CrossFit is if you do CrossFit, to talk about CrossFit. So we're going to talk about CrossFit. And I pushed myself today. I mean, I pushed my limits. I was worn out. By the time I was done, it was hard for me to get in my truck. But guess what? Tomorrow when I go back in there, I've got to push harder than I did today. And I've got to make tomorrow the hardest workout that I've ever had in CrossFit. Yesterday, I came to work and I pushed myself harder than I have at work ever. Like I did so much stuff in one day, it's unreal. I'm not going to go list everything out, but just know I work hard. If it ain't hard, I don't do it. And I pushed myself hard. But guess what? Today, I'm going to have to push myself even harder. If I did 10 things yesterday, I got to do 11 today. If I do 11 today, I got to do 12 tomorrow because I'm getting better every day. You know, I used to do a little, but the little wouldn't do it. So the little got more and more. I just keep trying to get a little better, said a little better than before. If you can name that song, you know, send us a tweet at Hardcore Closer. I know what song that is. I'm not going to say the band or the name of it, but like that's how we should do life. They're obviously referencing heroin in that song, but that's how we should do life. You know, we should do a little bit every day, a little got more and more. And, you know, if you push yourself daily, if you have 1% improvement every single day, you push your limits by 1% every day. At the end of the year, you've got 365% improvement over day one. But guess what? If you don't push yourself at all, you'll wind up in the same place at the end of the year that you were before. You have to push yourself daily. The world will set limitations on you. The world will tell you to go back to your comfort zone. Your brain will even shut you down at 40% of your capacity, and you have to push through that. When you want to stop, you have to push just a little bit harder. Number 2 way to live an unlimited life is set goals, not limits. Most people set limits on their life. Like when we're young, we say, if I just make it to college football, I'll be happy. We get older and we get through college football, they say, if I just make it to the NFL, I'll be happy. Many of us just say, like ladies, they say, if I just find the man of my dreams, I'll be happy. If I just get married to the man of my dreams, I'll be happy. Many of us just say, if I make $1 million, I'll be happy. I'm here to tell you, you can make $1 million, and $1 million ain't shit. Matter of fact, there's 1,700 people every single day in America that become millionaires. That's a lot of people, y'all. $1 million ain't shit anymore. Grant Cardone's been saying this for a long time. $1 million is middle class. And I'm here to tell you $5 million is middle class. And you might say, dude, that's not true. Then that makes 100,000 low class. Man, when you think about it, the government's taking 35 to 43% of your income, depending on what state you live in and how well you manage your taxes. So even if you make $100,000, you're still living on $60,000 or $70,000 of that. You know, most people, if you have a $500 car payment, there's one, and you're making $5,000 a month, there's a tenth of your income in car payment. You got a $2,000 a month mortgage payment. There's, you know, half of your income right there, and just 2 things that you have to have. And most people have a higher than $500 car payment, higher than $2,500, higher than $2,000 a month house payment. So $100,000 really isn't what you think it is, because you don't get to keep $100,000. You're living on 60 or 70 of it. 250 is nice, but it still isn't as much as you think it is. We always set these limits. It's like, dude, if I just climb the corporate ladder and make $250,000 a year, I'll be set for life. It's not true. You're never set for life. You have to learn to set goals. If I just make $250,000, then I can go to the next level where I'm trying to make $500,000. You see, that's how I lived my life. Back in 2004 was my first 6-figure year. And I said, okay, before that, I said, if I could just make 6 figures. I said, awesome. Okay, so the next year, I said, if I could just make multiple 6 figures. And I did. I made like 200 and something thousand. The next year I said, man, you know what? If I could just make $500,000, and I pushed myself and did $773,000. And then I obviously got a little setback. I had to go to prison. When I got out again, I said, man, if I could just come out and make $150,000, end up making 300. Then I said, you know what? If I can become a millionaire, I got set back again. But I never set a limit on my life. I set a goal. Hey, if I become a millionaire, then I'm going to go for 10. If I go for 10, I'm going to go for 20. If I go for 20, I'm going to go for 50. If I go for 50, I'm going to go for 100. There is no limit on my life. There is no end game. People say, how much is enough? There's no such thing as enough. Because what if another opportunity shows up in my life? What if another venture shows up that's even more that I can help people? See, I'm not doing evil shit. I'm flipping real estate. I'm running an online university that helps people grow their business and become a better just human overall. I'm mentoring people. I'm helping people make more money. I'm helping people live better lives. I'm helping people quit drugs. I'm helping people quit smoke cigarettes. I'm helping people quit their drinking problems. I'm saving souls over here. I'm a certified soul taker. And so I'm not doing anything bad. So why would I want to set a limit on myself? Why would I want to say, if I could just help 300 million people, then you know what? I'll quit this business. No, as soon as I help 300 million people, I say, if I could just help 1 billion people. People ask me all the time, Ryan, when's enough? Man, I saw this episode of Suits the other day, and the investment banker said, hey man, it's not about money with us. We got all the money we need. We're investment bankers. Money's just how we keep score. It's about winning. And one of my core values is I can't lose because I'm only focused on winning. And so that's what I do, is I focus on winning. And so winners don't set limits on themselves, because guess what? If you set a limit on yourself and the person that you're trying to win against, or the force that you're trying to win against, doesn't set a limit on itself, guess who's going to end up winning? But see, if I push myself daily and I don't set a limit, I don't say, all I'm ever going to be able to do is bench press 200 pounds. All I'm going to be able to do is bench press 300 pounds. If I don't set a limit, but I set a goal, you see the way that you word that in your mind changes a lot of things. If I don't set a limit, but I set a goal, it changes the game for me. Number 3 is you have to think abundantly. And then, man, I'm going to go really deep on you with this one. A lot of people say, oh, you just have to think abundantly. And you're like, okay, what the fuck does that mean? When I say think abundantly, I mean think that you can have anything that you want in this life. You deserve anything that you want in this life. And you will have, not that you just can have, but that you will have everything that you want in this life. You see, I used to not think abundantly. I used to think scarcely, and I had an anger problem, because anger, being mad is a byproduct of being fearful. And I was scared that I would lose things because I didn't have an abundant mentality. Now, if I lose a customer, if somebody takes a customer from me, or if somebody takes a deal from me, or if I lose some money on this deal or that deal, it's like, dude, I'll always get more. This is a sad truth. Really, it's happy, but to a lot of people, it's sad. But you can always find another wife, husband. Can always find another job, employee. You can always find, dude, even if you lose one of your kids, you can always go make another one. Is it sad? Absolutely. Can it be devastating at the time? Absolutely. But there's always more. There's always more. We go through hard stuff, but eventually we get over it. Many of us have had parents that have died, and it was hard in the beginning, but as time goes on, they say time heals all wounds, but you have to think abundantly from the beginning. We can always go find more family. We have a family of origin, a family of choice. We can always go choose to make somebody else a mom or a dad-like figure in our lives. But you have to think abundantly in order to remove the limits from your life. Because if you are a scarcity thinker, which is the way most people do, they're scared they're going to lose this, or they're scared that they won't have this, or they're scared that this is impossible for them. Then guess what? You set limits on yourself. That's not a way to live an unlimited life. You have to think abundantly. One of my core values is I think abundantly. And the reason why is because I want everything that I have coming to me. I deserve everything that I have coming to me. I deserve everything that I want in life. I deserve it. I'm willing to work for it. And if I lose some stuff along the way, that's just part of the game that we play. But guess what? Anything that we lose is replaceable. You lose your phone, you go get another one. You wreck your car, you go get another one. You lose your job, you go get another one. You lose an employee, you go get another one. You crash a business, you lose it. Dude, I don't know any successful entrepreneurs that haven't crashed a business. I've crashed a few of them. There was a guy the other day making fun of me or hating on me or whatever the hell you want to call it in a group. And he's like, this dude's crashed 3 businesses and he's bankrupt these businesses back in 2005. He spearheaded the freaking the subprime mortgage movement. I'm like, bro, what have you done with your life? When you take risk, shit happens. I don't know any successful entrepreneurs that haven't crashed a business. Shit happens. When you take risk, shit happens. But guess what? I crashed a business, but I went and started another one. And this one's making 8 figures. So what are you doing with your life? Oh, you complain about me. But you know what? That doesn't bother me because I think abundantly. And I hope that there's enough room in this world for you to think abundantly as well. Because if not, I think so abundantly, I'll take up your market share. Number 4, you have to focus on more. So many people focus on less. Like, what happens if I lose this? Or what happens if I don't do this? Or what happens if you can't think that way. You have to focus on more. What happens when I get 3 more cars? What happens when I make $10 million more? What happens when I make $1 billion more? What happens when I have 3 more kids? What happens if I have, whatever it is that you want? What happens if I start 1 more company? I always focus on more. How can I get more love from my family? How can I get more money from my business? How can I get more stamina and conditioning from my body? How can I get more faith in myself? You have to think about increase by focusing on more. See, so many people focus on less. There's less money in my bank account. Shit, I'm focused on less money in my bank account. You have to focus on more. I just had to write a huge check to the IRS, $495,000. And, if I was focused on losing that 400, because that's a true loss, right? I worked my ass off all year just to give it away to fucking Uncle Slam. If I was focused on losing that money, then I would be devastated by that. But instead, hey, I'm focused on getting more. I need to replenish that $495,000 that I had to pay. Because it was sure nice seeing it in my bank account. So I need to add back. So I'm not focused on what I lost. I'm focused on what I need to gain. I'm focused on where I'm going in the future. I'm focused on more. A lot of people, they get focused on less. Like, oh shit, I've got less money now. What do I do? You focus on more. Oh shit, I'm getting fat. What do I do? You focus on more, being harder on your body, pushing your limitations. Always think about more. And that comes like from abundantly. You think abundantly, what are you thinking about? You can have everything. So now you need to focus on more. And number 5, you have to believe all this shit's possible anyway. Because you can push yourself daily, but if you don't believe that you can lift 300 pounds, you'll never do it. You can set goals, but if you don't believe your goal's possible, you never do it. Let me talk to you about this. I'm just going to be honest with you. A lot of you want to be millionaires, but deep down inside, your subconscious doesn't believe that you can actually do it. And that's where the gap exists in your life. What you want versus what you believe you can achieve are 2 different things. A lot of you want to be a millionaire. You want to be a multimillionaire, but you don't believe that you deserve it, or you don't believe that you can achieve it. You don't believe it's possible for whatever reason. Maybe you don't know anybody who's done it. Or maybe you're listening to my show, so you know somebody who's done it. Maybe you don't know somebody who's done it, or maybe you haven't seen it done, or maybe nobody in your family's ever done it. None of your friends have ever done it. Nobody that you personally know and interact with has done it. So something's keeping you from believing that it's possible. And the fact that you want something, if you don't believe it's possible to attain what you want, you'll never get it. I want a Pagani. That's my dream car. I like Pagani's. The Huayra is just an amazing car. There was a guy, Tony Tatucci, who had he was showing on Instagram the other day. He's the Lunatic Living, if you follow him, and he had a all carbon black, carbon fiber Pagani Huayra. And oh man, dude, it was everything that would give a car guy an erection. You know what I'm saying? And anyway, I thought, man, one day I'm going to have that. And I believe it's possible. And partially, I believe it's possible because I think abundantly. I think that anything I want is possible. Right now, I'm in the process of buying a $2 million home because I believe it's possible. I believe I deserve it. But I'm going to be real with you guys. There was a time in my life where I didn't think being a millionaire was possible. I was a convicted felon. I was washing cars, and I would see all these millionaires come in. I just didn't think it was possible in my life. And then when somebody offered me a job in the mortgage business and said I could become a millionaire, I'm like, dude, lady, it's impossible for me. She said, well, what makes you think it's impossible? Because I had set these limiting beliefs on myself. I said, well, I'm a felon. I sold drugs. I work at a car wash. She said, none of that matters. We can still take care of you. Matter of fact, you'll probably do well because of those experiences that you had. But see, I didn't believe it was possible to do anything other than wash cars. And so I believed on the level, like when I first put $10,000 in my bank account, and I actually had $10,000 in my savings account, not in my bank account, but in my savings account, I actually saved up $10,000. And after all was said and done, I had 10 G's floating around. Like at that point, I didn't believe it was possible to have $10,000 in your bank account until I made it happen. And then for a long time, it took me a long time to believe that it was possible to have $100,000 in your bank account. But I had to raise my thinking. I had to think abundantly and then believe that whatever it was that I was wanting was possible. Many of you don't have what you want because you don't believe it's possible. And that's where the gap exists in your life. You want to build a successful business, but you don't think it's possible for you. You want to have the love of your life and get relentless blowjobs every single night, but you don't believe that it's possible. You want to have a hot ass chick that never cheats on you and cooks for you and takes care of your kids and stuff. You don't believe it's possible. I'm here to tell you it's possible. You can look at my wife. Dude talk shit to me. I got a lot of people talk shit to me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a really good shit talker. So I'm really not the best person to talk shit to because you're probably going to get in your feelings when you fuck with me like that. But dude talked shit to me the other day. It's like, dude has to have all these cars just so he can get ass. So it's like, dude, I just creeped your profile and looked at your wife versus mine. My wife dated me long before I had any of these nice things. And if you think that that's what I need to get ass, maybe that's what you need to get ass with. And your ass don't look near as good as mine. So I would just shut the fuck up right now. And he's like, damn, he just insulted his wife. What a fucking asshole. I'm like, dude just fucking came at me. I'm never the asshole first. But if you fucking push me, motherfucker, I will say some shit to get in your feelings. But I believe it's possible for me to have a beautiful woman that cooks. Last night I came home. As soon as I got home, there was a grilled chicken breast on top of some dirty rice and beans. My kids were there waiting for me. The senator and the midget, they were both there waiting for me. My wife told me she loved me. She had a drink poured for me. She had my food there. And she's like, you see this? All this is yours tonight if you want it. Dude, I believe that it's possible, and I got it. And dude, my wife is hot. My wife on a scale of 1 to 10 is like 50, bro. She's fucking hot. 6-pack abs, beautiful ass, long blonde hair, huge tits. She's fucking everything most men fucking dream of. She's everything a straight man dreams of. And she can cook, and she cleans, and she ain't lazy, and she's a badass fucking woman. The only reason I have her is because I believe that it was possible to have those things. My cars are amazing. I drove to work today in a 2017 Acura NSX. That thing is like every time you step on the gas, it goes like, dude, it's just like crazy. For years, I didn't believe I'd ever drive. I watched cars like that, but I never believed I'd drive one. There was a disconnect in what I believed and what I wanted. I wanted one, but I didn't believe I'd ever have one. But now guess what? I have one because I believe that I believe it's possible. And I believe that I deserve it. Guess what? I've got not only that, but I've got a couple McLarens and a Maserati and a truck and an Escalade. And the golf cart. Golf cart's really my favorite. I like driving on the golf cart, having a nice beer. Well, who am I kidding? I don't drink beer. Having some vodka and driving the golf cart and cruising around the neighborhood, raising hell and chasing rabbits and squirrels and shooting bugs with the assault gun. You get an assault gun, it shoots salt at bugs. It's the funnest shit ever. And dude, just like living the life because I believe it's possible. This house that I'm in the process of trying to buy is an acre of land in the middle of a city with 390,000 people. I'm going to have an acre of land on the richest part of town because I believe it's possible. I believe I deserve it. So listen, that's how you live an unlimited life. And I'm not saying that this $2 million home is the end of the road for me. I might one day move into a $100 million home if that's what I decide, because I'm not putting a limit on my life. I might have 10 $2 million homes if that's what I need, because I'm not putting a limit on my life. Matter of fact, I'm hopping in a plane on Saturday morning of this week, in a plane that I chartered for $13,000, and I'm flying from Dallas to Omaha, Nebraska, and I'm going to the Berkshire Hathaway annual shareholder meeting. And I'm going to go up there with a bunch of billionaires and a bunch of 100 millionaires and Warren Buffett and everybody else, because I am going to see what an unlimited lifestyle looks like, because I believe it's possible. And now I want to see it, because seeing is believing. Like, if you've never seen a ghost, you may not believe ghosts exist. But if you've seen a ghost, you're like, I know ghosts exist because I've seen one. And so I want to go see what stupid money they say on the tarmac at the private airport in Omaha for the Berkshire meeting. There are more private jets than anywhere else in the world at that time. It is the place where there are more concentration of wealth than anywhere else in the world in Omaha, Nebraska at this time. It's like the richest motherfuckers. They walking around with bodyguards, with SKSs, AK-47s, M16s, like sheiks and freaking sultans and presidents and like, dude, just the richest people on the planet. Warren Buffett's the third richest person. The truth is the Forbes ranking is very vague. There's way richer people than him, like in Saudi Arabia and Iran and stuff like that. However, According to Forbes, he's the third richest person in the world, which is not necessarily true because the richest people don't want you to know how much money they have. But since Warren Buffett runs a publicly traded company, it's pretty easy to calculate his wealth, or at least some of it, whatever. But I want to see what that looks like because that removes the limitation. Seeing is believing, and that removes the limitations from my life. So let's go back over these again. 5 ways to live an unlimited life. 1, push yourself daily. Whatever you did yesterday, if you just do 1% more today, by the end of the year, you'll have 365% improvement. That's 3.5 times better than you were when you began. And if you repeat that every year, you become basically superhuman. Number 2, set goals, not limits. Goals are stepping stones. You never say, if I just get $1 million, that I can check out of the game, because that puts a limit on yourself. Number 3, think abundantly. You win some, you lose some, you get some, whatever it is that you have, you can always get more. Number 4, focus on more. Don't focus on less. Don't focus on the fact that you had to write a tax check. Don't focus on the fact that that employee left you. Don't focus on more. Go find more. And number 5, believe it's possible, because if you don't believe all that's possible, then the previous 4 don't really matter. Okay, so hey, I want to remind you again to go leave me a review on iTunes, and make sure that you check out the other podcasts on here. Now listen, I do have a daily podcast. It's called the Get Your Mind Right podcast. Just give me the first 5 or 6 minutes of your day every single day. It's on iTunes. It's at hardcorecloser.com. It's completely free. Get Your Mind Right. Give me as soon as you wake up in the morning, let me be the first voice inside your head for the Get Your Mind Right podcast. The shit will change the game for you. I get messages every single day of people like, dude, this is totally mind blowing. This is totally changed my life. Thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you so much. And I want to have that same experience with you. And I want to be the first voice inside your head 7 days a week. We're up to 28 episodes that have been released so far. I know I've recorded 70. And dude, I enjoyed it. It's the funnest thing that I've done. It's literally the Reverend Ryan Stewman. So hop over there and make sure you go over to Phone Sites, our sponsor. Check out Phone Sites. You can build a website from your phone in less than 5 minutes, no matter how big of a tech challenge problem you've had in the past. I solve all that with phonesites.com. It's totally affordable. You'll be able to launch landing pages, collect leads, and stop knocking doors, cold calling, and everything else. And make sure you share this on social media. We'll catch you on the next episode.